G'day everyone. In this video, I'm going to show you what aim assist settings you need to adjust for sniping. Let's get into it. For this video, I'll be using the Taylordrift Scottish Tryhard beta script. To download this script, you'll need to be in the Taylordrift Discord. There'll be a link to the Discord in the description of this video. You don't have to be using this exact script, as the same method will apply to other Taylordrift scripts as well. However, if you do want to use this one from the video, then you'll need to be using the newest firmware on your Zen and install the script with the newest beta version of Zen Studio. There'll be a link in the description to a video of mine showing you how to update all of that if you're not sure how. Alright, now before I jump into the actual settings on the Zen, I want to go through one thing here. You might be wondering, why the hell are you in paint? And you'll know in a second, alright? So this one's going to be for all my visual learners out there that need to sort of see something for it to sink in, which is exactly how I am. I'm just going to quickly explain something on here, and that'll help you understand a little bit more when I jump into a private lobby and show you changing the actual settings, alright? So let's have a look. Now, as some of you may know, some of you may not, but when you're using an aim assist mod, if you go through and have a look, there's a bunch of different shapes there. What the shapes are, what they mean is whatever shape you use, let's say it's circle for this one, just a nice basic one. When you're using a circle shape, what happens is when you aim down your sight, the aim draws a small circle, okay? Now, the radius, when you have a look at the radius in the aim assist settings, the radius changes the size of that shape. So if you have a radius of 10, it's going to be a certain size. If you put it up to 20, it's going to, double in size when you're aiming down your sight. So keeping that in mind, let's just say, as an example, let's just say that this one here, this is a radius of 10 and the circle shape. And then let's just say that this one here is what happens, about double the size. Probably not really, but either way, definitely not the scale. But let's just say that's a radius of 20. And also, let's say this whole screen here, let's just say this is playing on 120 FOV. All right, so this would be the radius of 10, and this would be the radius of 20. So when you're aiming down your sight, the aim would draw a shape this size at 10 and this size at 20. It's not actually that size, but you get the point, right? So yeah, let's say this is 120 FOV. Now, what happens when you play on 80? It's zoomed in a bit. You don't see as much at the sides. It's zoomed in, right? So if we zoom in on this one and we put it back in towards the center there, let's say this is 80 FOV. All right, now the circles haven't actually changed size. I didn't go in and stretch them out and make them any bigger or anything. All we did is move in. But now the circles look a lot bigger. If we zoom back out, let's say that's 120 FOV. We zoom back in, and let's say that's 80 FOV, right? Now, like I was saying, the circles are the exact same size when I first drew them, but because we've moved in a little bit, the circles look a little bit bigger, right? So that's the same thing that's sort of happening when you're playing on a PC and then playing to console and you're messing around with aim assist settings. You might see somebody that plays on PC, they share their aim assist values with you, and when you try them on console, your screen's shaking like crazy when you aim down your sight. This is why. Because even though the radius, if you have it on 10 or 20, it's always going to be drawing at the exact same size. If you're playing on 80 FOV, you're a little bit closer in, so it's going to seem a little bit bigger, which is why the screen shakes a bit more. Now, keeping all this in mind, imagine what happens once we're using a sniper and we aim down that sniper scope. That zooms in a fair bit compared to, just a red dot or a 3x scope or whatever. It zooms in a lot more, okay? So let's say we use a sniper scope and we zoom in again. And we have a look at it now. Again, the circle is the same size. This would still be a radius of 10. This one's still a radius of 20. However, it seems like it's a hell of a lot bigger from where we started at, which was here. So this is why if you have your aim assist set up for, your normal assault rifle and SMG, when you pick up a sniper and you go to aim down your sight, it might be moving real weirdly. You might notice your screen shaking a bit more. This is why. I hope that kind of made sense. Again, I know it's not perfectly, down to scale, but it's more just for the visual learners that need to sort of see something to, have something sink in. Okay, now let's have a look at some aim assist stuff on the script here. Now, one thing I did, I went in here before and I turned the radius up really high. So it's on 30. That's not what I'm recommending or anything. I've got it on 30 so we can just for the example here, because when you have your radius too high for sniping, you'll notice that when you aim down your sight, it'll be doing something like this, okay? Which is, even if you're playing multiplayer, it's probably not that bad. You don't need it that high. But if it's shaking and you're playing multiplayer, a lot of the stuff short distance, you're probably quick scoping. It's not going to matter that much. But for Rebirth, Caldera, longer distance sniping, it's pretty fucking annoying to have it doing this when you're trying to snipe somebody. So what you want to do is go into your aim assist settings here. You'll need to turn that radius down for when you're sniping. So if you're going to be doing it, I recommend having a separate profile for it. There's the sniper mode in this script that you can set up. Whatever you want to do. Either way, the radius needs to be a lot smaller than what you have it for when you're just playing normally. Okay, so if you play normally on 20 or you play normally on 15, and what I mean by normally, I mean with your SMG, your AR, that if you have the radius of 15 or 10, when you're sniping, it's going to need to be lower than that. All right, so for example here, I'm going to go down to Maybe let's just try 10 for now. I'll back out for that. For console, you know, you're going to need to probably put it lower. The point I'm trying to get across is make sure the radius is a lot lower than what you regularly have it at. Okay, don't copy my exact settings. So with a radius of 10, you can see it moves a lot better. It still moves, you know, in steps a little bit, like it jitters a little bit when you're moving left to right. So what you want to do as well is go into your aim assist settings, and this time we're going to go to the steps or the speed. So we go to ADS speed, this one here. Now the speed's not going to matter. You want ADS speed. So with this one, you want to turn it up. So your speed's going to have to be a fair bit higher than what you have it normally. So radius smaller, speed higher than what you normally have it. All right. So I'm going to go maybe 25 for the speed. We'll back out so that one saves. And now when I aim down my sight and I move things around, we're still getting a little bit of movement there. So what I'll do is I'll go back into my aim assist stuff, go over here, and maybe let's try a radius of, I'm going to try 5 instead. Back out so that saves. Aim down my sight. And we can now see things are a lot smoother. And I guarantee, even though the radius is smaller, you're still going to get a little bit of extra aim assist when you're sniping. I've got some clips to show you at the end there, so stick around if you want to see those. But that's what you need to do. The radius is going to need to be a lot smaller than what you normally have it on. The speed's going to need to be higher to get rid of that jittering when you're moving it left to right, up and down, you know, moving around in general. Now, shape-wise, what I recommend doing after all this, I know I've been using circle as the example, but what I recommend doing is changing this one to the linear one and changing this to the kit shape. The reason why I put it on the screen now, the kit shape, the way it works, the way it moves compared to circle is a lot nicer for sniping because it moves just, you know, left to right. It doesn't do an actual circle movement, and also makes things even smoother again. So kit, I reckon, is the better shape to use if you're sniping. And once again, smaller radius than normal and a higher speed. I can't sit here and say this is the perfect one for everybody. That's just not how it works. You just need to go into your aim assist settings and adjust those to the way I mentioned. Now, another thing that helped me a little bit as well, I played a few games without it and a few games with it, and it definitely helped me. If you're kind of used to doing it, or you're, you know, a decent sniper, I suck on controller at sniping. I rarely do it. But one thing that helped me was going into here and turning the hold breath on. So that automatically holds your breath when you aim down your sight. So with that on, your aim is as stable as it can be straight away. But again, if you're used to doing that yourself, or you're just, you know, fairly good at sniping anyway and you don't need that, then, you know, keep it off. But that's all up to you. Okay, now just to be clear on some of the other aim assist stuff here, there's no particular one, you know, that's going to be the best. Now in here, like I mentioned before, kit was the better shape, but I mentioned I have shape direction on. The speed needs to be higher than whatever you have it set at. That's going to smooth it out when you're moving left to right. Speed, you don't have to worry about it because that's for when you're shooting. So honestly, you know, you're not holding the trigger long enough for when you're sniping for, you know, it to make much of a difference or any difference at all. So just worry about the ADS speed and move on over to the radius. Like I said, that's going to need to be a lot smaller than what you usually have it at for anything else. Boost on fire, you don't need it because you just don't need it. Don't worry about it. Over here on tracking, it's optional. You don't have to have it on. But turning it on isn't going to hurt. And you have the size, it's all up to you. But either way, you can leave it on default. Just turn it on if you want to. But messing around with tracking and that sort of thing isn't going to mess up, you know, what I mentioned before with the radius and the speed, that sort of thing. It's all up to you. I'm just showing you what I was using. And for sniping, you don't need to have sticky aim on either. It's not really going to help you in any sort of situation. If you leave it on this as default, it only activates when you're holding the trigger anyway. So that's much better for, you know, weapons that involve you holding the trigger rather than just tapping it like you do when you're sniping. And there we go. So that's everything I wanted to go through for this video. I hope that information sort of helps you out a little bit when it comes to adjusting the values if you want to use it for sniping. If you have any questions about it, feel free to ask those in the comments. For now, I'm going to leave you with some clips of me using a sniper. Cheers for watching. I'll see you next time. Oh my god, the aim has just gone fucking nuts. That's cap. Broken. And then they got another up here.
One down. Ah, piss off. I know you didn't get.
UAV is out of fuel.
Oh.
Turning for resupply.
Yeah, my game's very good.
Uh-oh. I'm dead.
Standing by. Mark
You
an
shot him.
LZ for pickup.
No, it's the same guy I was just looking at. Oh.
Enemy chopper incoming. Shoot it down and secure the cache. Hostile dropping into the
I couldn't see you on the map.
Instant escort. 20 seconds left.
Oh, I got it. How do you not see him? He's right near A. You're going fine, and now you start lagging. Oh, here we fucking go.
Allied UAV.
Yeah, it's just any sniper really, because people want like sniper. Oh, hello. I want sniper aim assist settings.
Alpha is on the move.
It's not.
Do you like Rebirth Solid? I reckon that's pretty fucking decent.
Yeah, it's pretty good. Yeah.
I'm going to restart. Down.
Oh, well, I'm dead.
Oh, no, I got you. Look at him. God, look at him. What a fucking look at him. Oh, the old killer devil, but oh. Get out of my face, bro. You know what I mean?